Hello and welcome to Pride of Southern Fan TV. Ali here, and just in my hotel room in Birmingham, about to set off home. And what a night it was at Villa Park. And the first thing I would say is I love Villa Park, one of those old school grounds, one I hadn't been to, one I wanted to tick off the bucket list, and I'd highly recommend it for those who haven't been. But we are in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. We are 2 games from Wembley. Oh, it was brilliant. Brilliant in the stands, some great moments. I caught some of it on, check out the YouTube shorts for Mateta at the end and the sera. But yeah, it was, let's start through Glasner's rating. I give him a 9. He went, for the same team as Spurs, with the exception of Nketiah for Sarr. Not sure what was going on with Sarr, whether he needed a rest or something, because I thought he did well against Spurs, but I thought Nketiah did well last night. I actually prefer him on the left-hand side of the 10, cutting in, actually. Yeah, I think that's kind of better. He cuts in on his right, and he actually looked more comfortable with that. But, it all goes to plan. 1-0 up, Eze, great goal. And to be honest, I felt we looked comfortable. I was standing there thinking, we're through. We're going to get through here. When you just feel you've got that superiority. We had taken the momentum of Spurs into the game. Villa looked a little bit disjointed, like a side does when they make quite a few changes, but they still had threats, and Bailey in particular was a big threat down that flank. But then obviously the game flips with Eze's injury, Wharton coming off soon after, and suddenly, you look at the quality that's gone off the pitch and the quality that's come on the pitch, and you're thinking, right, this is a different game now. And then obviously the goal from Villa, Kamada made the error. I thought it was poor from Turner. I think Henderson saved that, to be honest with you. I mean, some people might say he didn't save that one at Forest, but he should have got a stronger hand on it. And at 1-1, and with Wharton and Eze off, I was kind of thinking I'll take pens at this point. But we came out second half, and this is where I give Glasner great credit. We came out with intention. We were the team who really came out and looked like we wanted to get into the next round. And listen, I'll talk about Kamada now, because what game of 2 halves. I think the Palace Way, great website, by the way, great site, Palace Way, they put some stat up that he won 1 out of 7 duels in the first half. Listen, Daichi Kamada is a player who is adapting to the physicality and pace of the Premier League, and he's struggling at times. But I've always said there's a player in there, and he came out fighting second half, and it was a great finish, and he won more tackles. His passing was better in the second half, and his social media comments, comments that are coming through social media after the game, where he was saying he still didn't think he played well, he wasn't at the standard he wanted. I think that's going to win a lot of fans over as well. But most of all, obviously, the winner wins the fans over. And there was a great moment when he came over and ran up to the fans after the goal, and his teammates looked really happy for him as well, because they clearly want him to succeed too. And I think he is a player we're going to have to keep patience with. In the first half, you could hear it around me, the frustration, and understandably so, because he had a poor first half. But for a player to come through and come out fighting in the second half, that's what Palace is all about. We love a fighter, but there is undoubted quality there, as his goal showed. And I think he's only going to grow as a player. He reminds me of Ben Watson, a player who, when he was young at Palace, would often do what... Because the reason why Kamada sometimes is losing the ball is because he's getting on the ball so much, trying to play the intelligent balls, and it's not paying off for him right now, because, as I said, he's adapting to the pace of the Premier League and the physicality. But Ben Watson was similar. When he was a youngster, sometimes it wouldn't come off for him, and you could hear the frustration around the crowd. But he grew into a player that Palace fans loved, an important player for Palace, and I do think Kamada can do that. But I still think there's going to be moments like the first half that we're going to have to keep behind him on, and I think we will now. He's won the love of the Palace fans in that second half, because he just gave us brilliant moments. It was just brilliant in the crowd when he scored that goal, and then the final whistle scenes, which you can catch on the YouTube shorts, the celebrations, and that thrill of going to Wembley. Now, people will say it's at the cost of 2 players, important players, going off injured in Wharton and Eze. But look, listen, Eze always gets an injury at some point in the season. It would have happened at some point. Wharton, we know, needs sorting out anyway. It was a massive risk to play Wharton, given his situation. But listen, there's two people in life. There's the people who sit in their house, decorate it to the inch of perfection. Everything's new in their house. Every room's decorated to pristine, never go on holiday. And there's people who don't really decorate their houses up to great conditions, but go on holiday every year to make memories. And I'm on the second camp personally. I just want to make memories. And we could finish anywhere between 8th to 15th, in my opinion, to be honest. But that doesn't really give me the thrill of nights like last night. And, you know, if trips to Wembley, you know, you look back on those memories as a fan, the cup final, the semi-final against Chelsea, though the cup run to the semi-final of Chelsea under Vieira, those are and the playoff finals and stuff like that, those trips when there is a sea of red and blue descends on London to Wembley, they are memories that I want again. So I'm all for going for the cup, because I think under Glasner we've got a good chance of going deep in these competitions, and that's the big difference between someone like Glasner, and I don't want to harp back to Roy too much, but I don't think we get that result that we got last night under Roy. We don't go for it in the way that Glasner did. Will it come at some cost for Saturday? Possibly. Possibly it will. We need to kind of hope Decore gets fit as soon as possible, because in particular central midfield is a position where we are short. The other last thing I want to say about Glasner last night is at the end he had Klein on as a right wing back, took Schlupp off. Not a fine performance from Schlupp, although I have got a video of him being serenaded by the fans, which I'll put up at some point. And he took Schlupp off, he put Klein right wing back, he put Manos in the right-sided 10, and Chalobah right-sided centre-back, who had a brilliant game, by the way. But so he had like 3 right-backs like lined up, and that was very clever for me, because the threat from Villa all night, even when they brought the younger players on, was down their flanks, and he just loaded that right-hand side and blocked off the threat, and we saw it through, and we got into that quarter-final. So Glasner, for me, I give him a 9 out of 10 for last night, into the quarter-finals. And can we go further? The draw was obviously the Arsenal away. Initially, I was like, that's the worst possible draw, like many. And then when you break it down and think about it, I think we need to hope they lose a game in the Champions League in that marathon group stage. So when they get to that game, they want to rest a few players. You look at the team last night, you know, they rested their goalie. That always brings you a chance, as we saw from ourselves last night. I hope that we play Henderson in the quarterfinals, not going to lie. But, you know, as well, I think we could have had other draws. We could have had, you know, Newcastle, who are going to be well pumped up for the cup. With, you know, they're not in Europe. They're not going so well in the league. They'll put all their eggs in that basket. Brentford, who are doing well this season, who, like us, would be right up for the cup. So swings and roundabouts for me. 7,000 fans apparently allowed to go. It's going to be another brilliant occasion. And I'll go in there with belief, because Glasner gives us belief in these cups. You know, he believes we can do it, and that manifests to the team, and that manifests to the crowd. It does feel like we're turning a corner. I said before Spurs, football can change quickly, and it has. We're out the relegation zone. We're in the quarterfinals of a cup. Feeling Glasner all over. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Man of the match for me, Chalobah was great, and the only thing with Chalobah I'm worried about is another Conor Gallagher situation. We're all going to fall in love with him and he's going to go back to Chelsea. But I'll give it to Fuse, because I thought he was a massive presence last night, particularly when Wharton came off. He had a job to do. His positional sense, his use of the ball, getting in those challenges, taking a booking like he always does with a professional foul. He was fantastic last night, and he's been brilliant under Glasner from the start. Fuse, my man of the match. Let me know who your man of the match is in the comments below. Check out the YouTube shorts for some of the scenes last night in the ground. It was a fantastic occasion at Villa Park, and I'm going to start making my way back to London now. As always, if you've liked this video, please press the subscribe button. Nearly at the 1K now. Thank you.